Hello friends, it's funkyplaybrothers, and please remember to subscribe to our YouTube. Today I'm reading an original novel, Piggy the Cure by Terrance Crawford, Scholastic, #2, Part 11, Chapter 4, second part, where they are in a apple farm. Ooh, they needed apples. To say they feast that evening would be understatement. Billy delivered several other resounding blows to the trunk of the nearby trees, each of them flushed with their own version of the ripe red fruit. The Quarts stuffed their faces, not remembering the last time they had enjoyed a proper meal. With the supplies that Ben had managed to liberate from the grocery store, they managed to make subsequently devour several meals between the four of them. Ben opened Officer Dougie's backpack, rummaging around for a spare beaker from the chemistry lab. As good as it was to have food in their stomachs, their discovery of fruit in the forest meant just one thing, that the search for the cure was still on. Ben pulled an empty beaker from the bag, and Officer Dougie's taser clattered to the dirt on the ground. Caught up in the height of his emotions over the last few hours, he had almost forgotten about the small device. Ben picked it up, brushed the loose dirt off it, and reached into his pants pocket to fish out the packet of batteries from the grocery store. Using his teeth to open the packaging, Ben took the fresh batteries in his hand as he popped the taser open and swapped the new batteries for the old. He replaced the cover and stowed the old batteries in cardboard package in his jacket to be disposed of properly later. Ben clicked the plastic cover back into place, powering Officer Dougie's taser. The machine whirred itself to life with a high-pitched trail, electricity flowing through the handheld device. Thoroughly satisfied with the new power source, he powered it down. The significance of the bag that tasered this force was not lost on Ben. The two had belonged to Officer Doggy, and all three had saved his life at this point multiple times over. This forest had been the last place he had seen the canine officer. Wherever he was he hoped that he was doing well. Ben tucked the fully charged taser back in the bag, finally pulling out the lab beaker he had come for, collecting the seeds from the evening's adventures. He stopped them and tossed them back into the bag with the rest of the components of the cure. Ben pulled out the documents from the military lab, spreading them out in the proper order to form the map. Piggy. Ooh, the wrinkled notes made little sense to Ben. Dozens of drawings of glowing blue mushrooms littered the page. Scientific nomenclature scrawled across the margin. There were notes for the preparation of the ingredients, but nothing on where to find it. And Ben doubted they would run into another forest floor covered in exactly what they happened to need. It was biology's knowledge that came in hand this time, his eyes barely scanning the page before coming up with an answer. "Oh yeah, I know these things," Badgie stated, matter-of-factly tapped his finger to his temple, emphasizing his point. "These are those weird glowy shrooms. Problem is, they don't only grow at the temple in Doveport." Badgie was met with silence, Ollie and Ben staring at him blankly. "Oh, come on, don't tell me you all have never been to Doveport. Our sister city across the sea? People don't say that, Billy piped up. I'll catch on, Badgie shot back. Ben thought about it, and he supposed that Badgie had to be right. He had never considered what life outside of Lucella might look like, but it seemed that life outside of Lucella was coming to him. So how do we get there? Ollie inquired, chomping loudly on another apple. The docks at the bottom of the island. There's tons of boats with owners who weren't coming back. I'm sure they won't mind if we borrow one, said Badgie. It was settled tomorrow. They would shove off for Doveport. And one way or another, Ben would be the farthest from home that he had ever been. The thought caused a lump to form in his throat as he looked back to how scared and inexperienced he had felt last time he had spent the night in the forest. He thought back on all that had happened since. Then the battles he fought and won, the friends he had made and lost. Ben began to make room in Doggy's bag for some extra apples for their trip, but soon he succumbed to the cool, crisp air and the sweet beaconing of sleep. The usual layer of fog crept through the trees, the sun shining through the leaves, catching the young adventurers in the eye and rousing them from their well-earned rest. They had a long trek ahead of them to the docks, but what else had the last few weeks been but one long trek? One more wouldn't hurt them unless it did, which was always a terrifyingly real possibility. Still, their journey was mostly undisturbed. Victims of the virus tended to shy away from direct sunlight, preferring to hide in the dark. Every now and then they would hear the characteristic growling of a group of infected, causing them to adjust their route. Between the four of them, they felt there was a little that could surprise them anymore. How wrong they were. They arrived at the docks off the port of Lucella as the sun began to set. The light reflected off the water as it lowered itself beyond the horizon. As usual, when it came to things of a shady nature, Badgie had been correct. Most of the boats in front of them, each floating lazily in the early morning breeze, had never been abandoned. It turned out that there was a dramatic downturn of interest in nauseous leisure during a zombie apocalypse. They split up, each taking a different section of the dock to explore their options when Billy returned. With an option for the biggest boat in the harbor, Ollie countered with the offer for the one that looked the coolest. Badgie shot down both choices, pointing empathically to the boat that he claimed as so many secret compartments. Ben thought for a moment, pacing the dock with his thumb and the forefinger on his chin. He examined all their options and was inspecting the sail of a close-by boat when they heard it. But heard what will be for next week. It was cool how they are now in chapter chapter something in the real Piggy game in book 1. Even though this is probably in book 2 of Piggy, because this is number 2, but book 1 is ending within it, so I think this is still on book 1, so I have no idea anymore. So, friends, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow us on X at the Funky Play Brothers. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Funky Play Brothers. Support our vlog at cashapp at the $sign Funky Play Brothers. We have more unboxings, more taste tests, more adventures, more monies, and for support. Thank you for watching. Bye!